going to all these backpackers and hostels, you really meet people sort of that are just like traveling all over the world, and it makes me feel like a freaking beginner. Like, even though in my town I'm this like young 21-year-old kid that does all these like crazy shit on his own, but you meet all these backpackers that have been all over the world, freaking living day to day, going to different countries with literally zero in their bank account and figuring it out. And I'm like telling them my stories, and they're like, oh cool, you went to America. They're not even phased because they've just done so many things. And I literally felt like the small fish in a big pond again. I was like, holy shit, this is like, there's like this guy who traveled all the way to the top of Australia, came down, he's been traveling up and down the coast, like he's done it 5 times. And I'm like, damn, like this, there's a lot of like big dogs that are like living life. Obviously they're not like as educationally or financially educated, but they're like, when it comes to life, traveling, life skills, street smarts, they're like on a whole nother level.
I feel like it's like two very different ends of the spectrum. You got the people that are well traveled, but they're usually backpackers. They go from place to place, hostel to hostel, and they're jumping around, and they're nomads, right? They're nomads. Whereas you have the people who prefer to settle down, and afterwards, you know, they accumulate some wealth and they've settled themselves down, get their career in check, and then they like to go travel. And then, like my parents, for example, right? That's exactly what happened with them. They settle everything down, waited for us to grow up, and then they go and travel. I don't know, like I feel like those people that go out, like you feel like a well-traveled, like I know what you mean, like those people that you meet that are well-traveled, they have good life skills, right? They've experienced stuff, they've like been at the low lows and the high highs, but at the same time they haven't really like settled down anyway. They've always just been like out and about, and it's good in a way. But yeah, you're 100% right. Like it's one of those things where I just don't know if it's obviously now it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable anymore with COVID and everything. You can prove that it's not sustainable. But like, I don't know. Like, it's a weird one, eh? Like there are definitely people like that, but it's crazy. Like people give up their jobs for like 3-4 years and just go backpacking around the world. The first thing I think of is funds. How do you afford that? Plane tickets are hella expensive. You got to like account for all that. Then if you like, you know, those people that backpack across Europe and whatever, they go every single country. Like obviously I want to go to as many countries as I can, but the financial sense in me is kicking in and being like, how are you going to afford that? Like,
yeah, I totally agree. Like all these backpackers, when they hit like the age 35, 40, they're going to find a city they love, get a job, and be grinding it out for the next 30, 40 years. Like I've seen people, I've met like family friends where their parents literally traveled the world, did so many crazy things, like backpack, bought cars in different countries, cars broken down, finding jobs at different cities to save up more money to go to the next country, and they live their life. And then for the last 20, 30 years, they've been just like back to society in the rat race, trying to figure things out and saving up for their retirement so they can do it again. So all these people are eventually going to have to go down the route of saving money, working. And the people who actually start with that route do that for, you know, their first 4 years and then retire and travel from the age 40 to 80. So it's like one or the other, and I'm very blessed to be put in a place where I can literally sort of do a bit of both. And yeah, like I'm really blessed. And I think if you're able to like do both at the same time, I feel like I've gained so much skill and learned so much things that I can attribute and put into my sort of business and grow my business further based on the experiences I've learned. And I think everything's like cumulative, and it's like so addictive because I'm back down to like level 0. And like when you're at level 0, each learning, you feel like you're just leveling up so much. And with business, it's like the leveling up is slowing down. So I feel like I just unlocked this whole new start of my life. Like, dude, like meeting these people playing like freaking Brazilian guitar and all these songs, it was like, I'm learning guitar now. I'm going to start learning guitar. I'm going to replace my 5-minute daily meditation with 5-minute guitar lessons. I'm going to learn guitar from the fundamentals, not just learn songs, but learn the fundamentals. And I want to learn guitar.
It's so crazy. Like you're so lucky to be on a platform to be able to do both at the same time. And you're 100% right. I feel like I would prefer to travel when I'm younger though, as opposed to going when I'm retired. Because retired, obviously, you just got nothing to worry about. You're just an old you're an old fella. You can't really do much, as opposed to if you're young, you're full of energy, you're at the peak of your life. You're literally at the peak of your life, and there's no going back after it. That's why I feel like I'd want to go now, like, just because you could, like, there's also those people that could just be like forever renting and just forever just saving up. And instead of like saving up for, say, a house or whatever, they save up a lot of money in periods and then use all that money to go overseas again, or save up all the money and then go overseas again after that. It's like, I could never do that. But like, hey, you found a new skill, you found something that you want to pursue, is a new hobby of yours. Have you bought a guitar yet, or are you going to? Or
Yeah, I got a guitar. I used to play, like, I can play like 2 or 3 songs, but that's about it. So I'm going to actually get the guitar, make sure it's working, and learn from the fundamentals again. But you're right, like, I think it's like a bell curve. On one end is people who are just really focused on their career. On one end, people who are really focused on traveling and living life. And there's like a small amount of people on each end. The majority of people are in the middle, where they're sort of doing neither. Or like everyday people literally that are not focused on saving up money, they're renting, but at the same time, they're not really living life. They're just like drinking every weekend and just like going to the same bar every weekend, and they're just like, majority of people are in the middle of this bell curve where they're not doing either, or they're doing like very small amounts of either.
that's just society. That's literally just society. I mean, like, something that you just eventually observe, and I'm sure you've seen it now as well. Like, you just got people just content with their life, and it's good. Like, the main thing is content with your life, and just, well, I mean, each to their own, but happy to be in the position that you're in, to be doing the things that you are. That's the main thing.
Exactly. And like, ignorant is bliss. Like, I find I'm starting to understand like how, like, if you're ignorant, you can just be happy. Like for example, like, Steven is this super cheerful, happy guy. Like, Steven's always happy. Like, he's like, something's happened yesterday, it was and then it's out of his mind the next day. He's not stressing about the issue. He's totally forgot about it. You bring it up, oh yeah, I totally forgot that happened. And he's just like, life is good. What's your thoughts, Stephen? You're like a really happy guy.
Happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of true. I mean, like, there's no point on dwelling on the past, you want to just keep on pushing forward, trying to like pick out the good things. Like, there's no point just like seeing, like, I don't know, like, say if I were to get robbed or something. Actually, no, that's a bad example, but like, say maybe I got like a mark for one of my assignments, right? I know that I can do better. So, well, what's the point of being like, oh damn, I should have studied harder or something? Don't. It's just always to just keep moving forward, I guess, and that's like the mindset I always have.
Yeah, sometimes Steven just like doesn't even care about the mistake. He just like erases it. He doesn't even learn from it. He just erases it, and it's like, yep, that never happened.
Sometimes I feel like you got to be able to learn from it and keep it ingrained in your brain so that you know that it never happens again.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good attitude to have. It's a decent attitude to have. Look, I think we'll wrap it up there for today's episode. We've hit a good spot again. It's back. We'll be back again next week. When you guys are listening, it'll be the week after. So we'll get into schedule again. Thank you so much for everyone's time, for listening. Appreciate it very much. Let us know what you think. If you hate us, let us know as well. Love to read that. But thank you guys.
Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Amazing episode. Let us know if you guys have any. Send me or Christian a DM. Leave us comments. We're always reading. And yeah, have an amazing week, guys. Peace.